Hi, I'm Deepa Iyer, and I'm your host for Community Corner, a new segment here on Darshan TV. Every month, we'll be coming to you to feature issues affecting South Asians here in the DC metropolitan area. Community Corner is a new segment that's being sponsored by South Asian Americans Leading Together, a national nonprofit organization located in the DC metro area, and one that addresses issues affecting South Asians all around the United States. In the summer of 2009, SALT, along with our partner, the Asian Pacific American Legal Resource Center, published a report called DC Desis, South Asians in the Nation's Capital. In this report, we surveyed and talked to South Asians who live and work in the DC area, and we identified a range of issues that affect our community. With Community Corner, we want to bring you information and resources about some of these issues so that the South Asian community can live thriving lives and know where to turn if you have needs or information that you have to access. So today, on this Community Corner segment, we're going to focus on mental health issues. Now, within the South Asian community, oftentimes people don't feel comfortable talking about mental health issues, wellness issues, and they often don't know where to turn in terms of resources, therapy, and other information that they need. So today we're going to unpack the issue of mental health by talking to two guest speakers, and we'll also learn about some of the resources that are out there for our community members. So join me in welcoming our two guests. We've got Razia Cozy, who's the founder and director of CHAI, Counselors Helping South Asian Indians, here in the DC metro area. And we've also got Mala Tandon, who's a clinical psychologist with the Multicultural Clinical Center, which is located in Springfield, Virginia. Welcome to you both, and thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Razia, let's start with you. I want you to tell us a little bit about some of the issues that South Asians are seeking mental health care for. What are some of those issues?
Well, with CHAI, we've been tracking the data for the last few years, and fairly consistently, we've seen the top 3 reasons that people are seeking referrals for depression, domestic violence, and relationship issues. And to go a little further with that, the depression could be reasons of social isolation, and they're not recognizing that there's some symptoms and a biological basis to depression. And also with relationship issues, that also goes into parent to adult children, maybe family expectations, could be partners, between partners, and it's not to a point where it's violent as we know it is with domestic violence and psychological trauma in terms of domestic violence, but prior to that, communication, maybe not having clear expectations of each other, not perhaps learning better communication patterns so that they can communicate more effectively.
So it's really a range of issues that you're seeing in the South Asian community. It can be something like communications and needing to learn how to communicate better within relationships, but it could also be depression and issues related to domestic violence as well.
Absolutely. And what we encourage people to do, what a lot of we do is go out and talk with the community about looking at mental health from a holistic perspective. Look at it from, are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling healthy or unhealthy? Are you having a lot of thoughts of not feeling successful, of feeling overwhelmed, of just not wanting to get up? And beyond something like there's something internally wrong with them, that maybe there is another serious issue to look at and to get information about how to access help for that. And there is help out there. We need to ensure that people have that information so they can make some informed choices about their mind and their health and their wellness.
Mala, you are a clinical psychologist, and you have been in the profession of providing services to clients who seek your help. Talk to us a little bit about what a session can look like when you are first starting to work with a therapist or a counselor, because I think there are a lot of misconceptions and people might not feel comfortable seeking help. So if you could demystify that for us a little bit.
Okay. Main thing in our session is confidentiality, because we still have stigma regarding mental health issues. To answer your question, first session, it starts with an in-depth intake, taking complete history where the problem started, or if it's intergenerational or a situational one, or what could be the issues affecting the person, and why is the person experiencing what he or she is experiencing at that point. Once the problems are clear, we make a list of what all a person is going through. It's a collaborative effort of the client and the therapist or the counselor to work out a treatment plan.
When you're talking about a treatment plan, I'm sure that in treatment there are a range of different strategies that are used. So can you talk a little bit about the different forms of therapy that are available for folks?
Absolutely. Sometimes individual therapy works, that is working one-on-one with the patient or the client. Most of the times we prefer working with the family because family is a big part of it. So how different members of the families interact, how is their interaction impacting or having an effect on the patient, and how that can be changed within the family.
So it sounds like talk therapy is key, but there could also be other forms, family therapy, etc., that can also be used.
Yes.
So it sounds like it's a real client-centered, client-driven model, which is important for South Asian communities, like you mentioned, Mala. And you also talked a little bit about the social stigma, and I want to turn to you, Razia, because that is also something that we discovered in our report that I mentioned earlier, that SALT and the APA Legal Resource Center did, where we found that people felt that there were a lot of barriers that prevented them from even wanting to access mental health or wellness care. Can you talk about what those barriers could be and how we can really eliminate them?
Well, one of them is just misunderstanding about what mental health is. I mean, people may see that if they're going to get some assistance for this, then there's a flaw in their character. When you're coming to mental health concerns, mental illness, or even wellness issues, and those can be defined as a range of a continuum of different things affecting a person's health and wellness. And when you're coming across different stressful situations, people may see it as a flaw in character that they can't handle it themselves. Also, as a lot of people have heard about the model minority myth, that there seems to be this misconception that all South Asians are doing extremely well. No one has these problems in themselves, in their families, and to kind of debunk that myth and say, as humans, we can come across difficult times. We can come across times where even in our body, chemically, things are different, and we may need to address it. Just as, you know, if you have diabetes, you may need to take some insulin to help adjust that. You may need to change your exercise and your diet to help support a healthier lifestyle. And if you look at it holistically, it's a mind, body, and spiritual connection with yourself. I mean, one of the biggest things, the Indian American Psychiatric Association did a study, attitudes about mental health, and we found that, you know, they largely go to their friends and family in terms of seeking who to go to for support. So part of when we go out and talk with community groups and organizations is just helping identify when some mental health issues might be a concern so that the family member, the friend, can trust and give information when things go beyond. And people recognize pretty quickly that if a person stops acting like themselves, stops interacting with other people, talks about